Hi everyone! In today's video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to take these adorable sequin pillows and put an image on the reverse side. So let's go ahead and get started. So on a recent trip to my local Dollar Tree, I came across these pillows. They are about 9¼ inches square, and I just thought they were absolutely adorable. I've got this beautiful teal one with a silver sequin on the back, and then the gold one with the white. And when I checked out the label, it said the whole pillow is 100% polyester, so I thought this would be a great candidate for a sublimation project. The next thing I looked at when choosing these pillows was what is the color on the reverse side of the sequin. So the silver was great on this nice teal color, and on the gold one I especially like this one because it's white on the back, and I thought this would be great to put a photograph on. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. The next step is a quick tutorial on how I prepare my images, and I've done a special edit on the photograph to give it some blended edges so that it just blends perfectly into the pillow. So I hope you enjoy that, and I'll see you back here in a few minutes. Let me show you how I prepare my images for printing. I use Photoshop, and I've created a brand new document. This is 8.5 by 11, 300 dpi with a white background. I've also added an additional layer and drawn an 8-inch box, and I use this as alignment. So the first image I'm going to do is this one right here, and I think this will look really nice on that blue-green sequined with the silver on the other side. So I've got my image, everything looks great, and you've seen me do this before where I just go over to the layer, double click to the right of the layer, and this brings up the layer style. I add a bevel and emboss and a drop shadow. It is not necessary to do this. This is a personal preference of mine, but I like what it does to the image. So now I'm just going to click on that layer, hit Control and the letter C on my keyboard. This will copy the image. I'll go back to that blank document that I created, Control and the letter V, and that will paste. Now you can see that obviously it's too big. So I need to maintain the aspect ratio as I resize this image. So I'm going to hold down my Shift key, go to the corner, and just drag that so that it fits inside the box. So I need to make it a little bit smaller. So if you hold down your Shift key, it will maintain the aspect ratio and you won't get that weird, reshaping of the circle. Okay. So that looks like as good as I'm going to get it inside that box. Click on the check mark, and that one's all ready to be sent to the printer. Now the second image that we're going to work on is a photograph. Now this is a rectangle, and I want to crop this down to a square so that it will look nicer on the pillow, but I want to go one step further than that. And I would like to go ahead and feather the edges just so it looks like it's blending into the pillow. So let me show you how to do that. So I'm going to click on my image, go back to the marquee tool, again hold down my Shift key so that I can get a square, and just draw the square around the portion of the photograph that I want. And I can position this once it's drawn. That's a nice upgrade in Photoshop. And that looks great right there. Now with that selected, I'm going to right click with my mouse, left click on feather, and I have feather radius set to 60 pixels. Click OK. And you can see it's given us this, what they call the marching ants around the photograph and a rounded corner. That's perfect. That's exactly what I want. The next step is to go up to the Select menu, select Inverse, and you can see there's a new layer of marching ants that go around the outside of the photograph. So once you see these two sets, click the backspace key on your keyboard, and it will remove everything except that inner selection. Now we can go ahead and can hit Control and the letter D, and that will deselect everything so you can get a better idea of how this looks. So this is perfect. This is exactly the way I would like this photo to look. The extra step that I will do is just remove some of this transparency around the image. So again, I'm going to make sure that I've got the image selected, and then I go up to Image and I'm going to choose Trim. I've left it at top left pixel color, click OK, and it removes all that excess transparency away from the photograph. So again, I'm going to click on the layer, Control letter C to copy, and I've created another blank document here with that same square. Control letter V to paste. Click on my Move tool. Again, holding down my Shift key, I'm going to resize and just fit this into the box the best that I can. I think I'll bring that down just a little bit more. And when you see these pink lines, the crosshairs here, that tells you that it's centered. All right, so that's perfect. Got that nice blended edge. So I'll go ahead and send this off to the printer. Now, if you're interested in seeing the settings that I use, I have an Epson Workforce 7720 that has been converted for sublimation printing. I have done another video tutorial that shows you how to set up printer profiles, and it will help you, avoid costly mistakes like forgetting to reverse your image before printing. So if you're interested in watching that, I'll put a link up in the top right hand corner. So this concludes the software portion of the tutorial. Let's move on to the next step. So before placing your image on the pillow, I would suggest that you spend some time at your heat press and adjust the pressure settings. You are dealing with a pillow, so it will squash down quite a bit, and what you're looking for is an even medium pressure. Once you've got that set, then go ahead and turn on your heat press. So here's the beach graphic that I printed out, and I think this is going to look really cute on this teal pillow with the silver sequins on the back. Now, as you can see here, not all of those sequins are going to turn over easily, so you will need to spend some time making sure that they have all turned. And I'll do that off camera, but I just want to give you a quick idea of how to place these images on the pillow. So that's how that goes on top of that. Now, what I had planned on doing was using heat tape, but I didn't have much luck with it. It kept peeling up, and I wasn't sure if it was going to leave a mark on the sequin or possibly tear one of the sequins off and break the thread, which would be awful. So what I decided to do was use a temporary spray adhesive. And this is the Sulky brand. It's one that I used when I did machine embroidery, and I really like it. It's a little bit more expensive, but it is odorless, it's non-toxic, it's safe for the environment. So it has all those positives to it. Any temporary spray adhesive will do, but if you're interested in this one, I will put a link to it in the description box below. So all you do is shake the can and just do a light spray on top of the image. Then make sure that you've got your image orientated correctly, and then it will just be placed on top of the pillow. Now remember that black box that I had printed out around the image? I've cut that away, and so now all I need to do to make sure I get perfect alignment is center that white piece of paper on top of the sequins, and that way I know that my image will be perfectly aligned onto the pillow. So now that that's all done, let's go ahead and go out to the heat press and press these pillows. So I have my heat press set up for 400 degrees and 60 seconds. I've got blowout paper on the bottom. I've got my pillow. The print is face down, and then I'll put another sheet of blowout paper on there to protect it. So here you can see the kind of pressure I have on my heat press. Not too much, easy to lift up and pull down. And then I'm going to let this go for 60 seconds. Make sure you have your heat gloves on because these pillows get very hot. And you can see how easily that print came away with the temporary adhesive. And there's no residue left on that either. So this came out perfect. I got great coverage. My pressure was set just perfectly. And this looks really nice on the silver. It's a bit difficult to see on camera because it's so shiny. Let me see if I can bring that in a little bit. Give you a better idea of the colors on there. So that one came out really great. So next I'll do the gold pillow with the white sequins, and then I'll be pressing the photograph on top of that one. So it's that same setup with the blow up paper, the pillow, the print, and then another sheet of blow out paper. Now if you watch the photo part of this, I went ahead and faded out the edges of the photo. And what I want to do is, or the look I'm going for, is that that photo will just fade into the white sequins at the edges so that it'll be nice and soft and not a hard edge. And this came out fantastic. I'm really pleased with this one. That's exactly what I was going for, and it worked perfectly. So let's go back into the house and we'll take a closer look at these projects. So these pillows have had a few minutes to cool down, so let's have a closer look. I just love moving those sequins. So this is the image on the silver, and it came out fantastic. I love the silver on this one, really shiny. The graphic pops on it. It's a little bit difficult to see on camera, but in person it really did come out very nice. So very pleased with that one. I got great color, great pressure. The whole image was on there. None of the edges are faded, so that came out perfect. Now here's the photo one. This also came out beautiful. And if anyone is interested, this is my husband and I. This was taken about 26 years ago, and this is our engagement photo. So it's one of our favorites, and I thought I would make that for us. So I'm very pleased at the way this one came out. And I love how the photo just blends into the background. That's what I was trying to achieve, and it worked perfectly. Now, one thing you do need to consider is sequins, as you move them back and forth, they will never align to the way they were when you press the photograph. So it can give the illusion that parts of the image are cracked, but they're not. It's just the nature of the sequin. And because this pillow is 100% polyester, I was able to sublimate a nice message on the back. The only error I made was I cut the image down to save paper, so I got those horrible crease marks. So next time I think what I'll do is just make sure that the paper is larger than the pillow, so when I press it I won't get those horrible edges on there. But overall I'm very pleased with the way these came out. Again, I'd bought these at the Dollar Tree, so if you have one local, go up there and see if they still have any left. Just pay attention to the reverse color of the sequin and you should be good to go. So I hope you've enjoyed this video tutorial and that it inspires you to try this project. And if you do, believe me, you will be addicted to moving these sequins back and forward. So this would be a lovely gift to make for somebody. It's a nice home decor item to make for yourself. Lots of design opportunities, and just think of all the different holidays, birthdays, lots of different things that you could use these for. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I hope you choose to do so. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified of future videos. And until next time, thanks for watching.